Hello, I'm Bridget,
And I'm Marie,
and we are One Mother Tongue.
a podcast of uncomfortable conversations about motherhood.
And in our very first episode, we are talking about who we are and why we are here together, sharing so personally in this way.
Yeah, so Bridget and I have known each other for just over a year, about a year now. But it was something that very quickly I remember going, okay, I like this woman.
Yeah.
Our conversations very quickly were going into this place of I felt safe to be vulnerable, and we were just having these real, honest conversations that I mean, I've always had within me this desire for that rich, deep conversation, for connection, for this really beautiful connection. I think we probably both hold that the connection and community are our highest values, and to also in motherhood, where for me up until that point had felt like quite a lonely journey, to find this person that I think maybe within a few weeks I sent you a text, can we parent together? And you just responding going, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. And to we spend a lot of time together. Fortunately, our 5-year-olds, your daughter and my son, adore each other. So there's lots of play dates, and really that's where it started, with getting together with the kids, and then these conversations that we were having that finally for me it was like, we can talk and nothing's off limits.
Yeah, with another woman, and that I feel like it relieved pressure off our own relationships, because I was seeking that deep, rich conversation all the time, and my partner was just like, I just can't always give that. I don't always have that. It's not always on the ready. But with Maria and I, it's very much, I feel, when we're together, it's very real and effortless, and it's like the true selves are just dancing together, and they hold each other to account, and they ask tricky questions, and they love each other and revering each other in essence. So there's this real...
It's a space of non-judgment, definitely.
And really, we've known each other in this life for a year, but we both quickly knew that we'd known each other, like it was like that soul reunion
many times before.
Oh, I get shivers when I say that. And just, so we started to come together, obviously, in the friendship and with our children, and sharing these kind of shared values and the excitement, because for me it's always been about women my whole life, but particularly, since I finished school, I had this urge to work with women, and I did that for a really long time in social work and in the kind of trauma end of the field. Family violence and sexual assault and mental health and women's homelessness, always with a focus on the woman's experience and children's experience. And so but I've been discovering through my own journey of motherhood that letting go of old identities and old ways of being in the world and living in the world and who I thought I was, this obviously... If you are a mother, you will probably be familiar with that stripping back of these identities and the letting go over and over again. And so when I met Marie, I'd been kind of dipping my toe into different things. I'd been running women's circles and doing some coaching, but it never fully clicked for me. It was certainly taught me a lot in seeing working with other women with different types of trauma, but it taught me a lot about the human condition, really. And I don't know if it's only women who experience these things. I don't think it is, but these very clear root causes of wounding and separation from the true essence of who we are and of love. And my own journey has been, full of ups and downs and ruptures and breakdowns and that whole spiritual path, really. And so I've been aching to meet someone, especially in motherhood, that I could share that with. And so when I met Marie, it was just like, what? It's like she's arrived.
Yeah.
And she lives 3 minutes from my home. And so we ran circles together, which was just a beautiful experience.
So beautiful. And so effortless when we work together. It's like, oh, this is great. And, but I think we ran 2 or 3 maybe. And then afterwards, it was, there was a real feeling in us of wanting to spread that further. Like we could see the power that it had with the group of 10 to 12 women to be having these conversations. And I remember you saying to me, but how can we, how can we get this to more women? How can we, these things, how amazing it would be to be made available for everyone. And that's when it, then we started talking about, do we create a course? Do we do this? What do we do? And then it led to this point of just recording. One day we said, let's just record our conversations, because we could tell there was gold there, because the transformation that was happening for us in our personal lives and the healing to really expose these elements of motherhood that weren't being talked about in a safe space, to hear each other, to hold space for one another. And it was like, this is gold. Let's just turn the camera on and record. And we did that actually for a few months. I know I found a recording on my phone the other day from November, I think it was, where we didn't then do anything with the recordings. We just pressed record and
we would meditate together, because we both have a shared kind of love of meditation, and I feel like that's important to talk about, is that is how it kind of birthed. We would, as a mum, you're scrapping for any little moment. So we'd get up at 5 and every Wednesday, and we'd go and we'd walk together, and then we'd sit at the beach and meditate, and then we'd talk about what came through in the meditations. And for me, that was just, it was so, because it felt like, we're part of this big network of something greater. That for our purpose for being here is so beautiful and big, and I don't know. And then so it's just birth, and what a big part of that practice has been learning when we're getting in our heads and trying to make things happen, or things get all bound up and it doesn't feel in flow. And we're learning how to step out of that and ask for the guidance, tune into those higher levels of self, and then move forward, trusting the timing of things, trusting the energy behind things. So our conversations are, they're permission. I feel like a permission giver. And our real intention of the podcast is to show you how these kinds of conversations can go, and we want you to feel part of this friendship and this energy that we create together, and to, with the permission and the encouragement, to go out into your life and to have these uncomfortable conversations, because this is the feminine energy that's returning to our world, and this is the mother energy, and we have a real passion that the mother energy is seen and embraced and understood in all her fullness and her richness. And that means the nurturing, softer, gentle sides, and also the powerful, robust, speaking your truth, getting things out of the shadows. There is a natural something that's happening right now in history of this energy is rising and changes are happening. So for me, as you were talking then, it's, one of my biggest intentions for this is for women to know that they're not alone in whatever they're feeling. For mothers out there that, maybe going through whatever you're going through, to know that you're not alone and that you're seen, and that there is an energy that's happening right now that is there to it's this feminine rising and meeting the masculine, and in this sacred union of the two in a way that it's never been in the whole of history. And it's a trip.
And you can kind of be tousled around in that, and we both do frequently tousled around in that, and then it's sort of like you've got somebody else there that's like a lifeboat, and you're there together that can kind of I feel like we really support one another in all that's going on, and that these conversations, my intention for them is to be that sort of life raft as you're going through what you're going through, to know that you're not alone, and that there are conversations and that you can be having, and that can help you ride what's coming through. But yeah, that there are moments that we're all being tousled around at the moment.
Because that new energy, that feminine love energy, and all of that information that's coming in, it meets the aspects within you and the aspects around you that are out of union, that are out of alignment. And so it's unsettling everything, the uncertainty of most things. And so I know through my own journey, it's been a practice of when things start to unravel in my life, or when huge surges are here for integration, that it's an opportunity. And that I know a big intention for me is to kind of smash a lot of those old belief systems about motherhood and the focus that our society's had on just the light side of motherhood and a denial of the uncomfortable and the other aspects, because I feel like if we can bring an integration of those two, and that's what's been my own journey, is an integration of the light and the shadow, and bring value to the shadow rather than a fear of the shadow.
Absolutely.
But when we kind of get into our intention around sharing these shadowier aspects, is that it transmutes them. They don't haunt you anymore.
They lose the shame, they lose the judgment, and then there's a compassion and a love steps in, and there's a whole new way of being in motherhood that's ready to, in life in general, but motherhood is one aspect of that's ready to be birthed. And you may be feeling that. I know I'm feeling it, if this desire for change in my role as the mother, feeling like there's a new way. And I guess that these podcasts are us paving that path together to that whole new way of motherhood, where, like you say, we're shining a light on all the dark aspects. In your meditation today, that, if you don't mind me sharing, that vision you had of mothers just all alone trudging with this sack, and then just opening up that sack, that this podcast is like opening up that sack, pulling one thing out, and slowly we're going to be pulling out all the things, so that sack will be empty, and then we're sort of, we've often used the term, we're busting out of the shackles of how motherhood has been, and the role of women in general, not just motherhood, just
the feminine energy. Yeah, so it feels, for Marie and I, really exciting, and we're just learning to ride that energy and trust the guidance that we receive and step up, because we know this way of living, it takes courage, and it transforms your life. Your whole life changes. Everything you do lifts and changes, but also it does mean you see yourself. You see other aspects of yourself, and the true journey for me is of integration and of scooping all of those aspects that we're running and the programs that we're running. It's scooping them back in and just honouring them for the role that they play. And that haunting kind of feels true, because in motherhood there are so many haunting kind of opinions and voices and judgments and all of it. From all sorts of your own lineage and just the community at large, but most of the time it's our own self it is our own self that we are meeting, and it's learning over and over again to meet that part of you with love. To love those darker aspects, and usually it's coming from a place of hurt
Yeah.
and pain. And it does take real courage to be on this journey. But we know that this is the perfect time. And that's why we feel so excited, because the energy is with us.
Yeah.
And the transformation
We're so supported
right
to
here.
do this work right now.
We are. And I can speak from my own journey. It's the more I learn to love and love myself and love all of these parts of me, the more I'm able to love my child, the more I'm able to love my partner, the more I'm able to be in this world in that state of being and awareness. And so, and the more I flow with the energy rather than getting kicked and tossed and bashed around by it.
Yeah.
But so that's why we're here. We've got so much to share with you, and you with us. You know.
Yeah.
So we're bringing it back, or we're bringing it in. I don't know. It feels very new.
Yeah, it does feel very new.
But it's exciting.
Yeah.
So we welcome you here.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing this space with us. We definitely do feel guided every time we get together, that it's whatever's coming through is what's needed from the collective, what messages are needed. So you are very much a part of this conversation. What you're needing in this moment is what's being drawn out.
So we would really ask for you to, if any of these podcasts resonate for you and you feel like you know of other sisters that would benefit, or brothers that would benefit from hearing this, please share it. And that is our intention, is to just share this new way,
so that we can all pave
together.
This new way together.
The more that join this energy, the easier it gets.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know that just probably to finish, that the more I show up for myself and the more I show up in my, you and I are great to practice together because we can meet in that non-judgmental way. But the more I have courage to meet with other people and other women and mothers particularly, and what happens when you do that? Yeah, it just the falling away of all the
so ready
the bullshit. So you know, this is a space of, we laugh and we cry and we hold each other accountable and we give each other hugs, and we're creating this space of true friendship. And true sisterhood, bringing back that love of each other and support of each other. So it's awesome and it's exciting.
Very exciting.
So thank you for being here, and we send our deepest love and reverence to you.
And like Bridget said, if there's another sister or brother that could benefit from this, then share it. And have those be brave enough to have those uncomfortable conversations. And we hope to see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.